welcome to my Flosstube channel. I'm Rin. My pronouns are they, them. I'm a non-binary multi-crafter. But this channel is pretty much just about cross-stitching. I may occasionally show off some other things, but lately that's pretty much all I've been doing. So welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. All are welcome in here. So before I get into talking about all the cross stitch, I have a few things that I forgot to mention in my last video talking about retreats. So in January, I went to a retreat up here locally in the Panhandle. It's about a 2-hour drive for me. And if I go again next year, I'm not going to drive because I was driving each day and it's a little long to do back and forth. But it was a lot of fun. I was supposed to be going with Brenda, who's the Obsessive Crafty Dabbler here on YouTube and on Instagram, but unfortunately she got COVID right before. Darn it. That's just the way it goes sometimes, but there's not really anything you can do about it. And I'm sure I will see her again sometime soon, hopefully. But that was a lot of fun. Met some new people, hung out with some people. That was a lot of fun. Let's see, other retreat news. I am going to Stitching in the Wild, which is the retreat down in Fort Lauderdale that Garon Stitchery is putting on. So Gary and Ronnie. So I'm really excited about that. That'll be in May. I think there's a few spots still left open, so if you want to join me in Fort Lauderdale, come on down to Florida. And trust me, it's a long ways for me too. Florida just, it goes on. It's gonna be an all-day drive, you know. Like people think, oh, it's in the same state. It's like, yeah, it might as well be in 2 states over. Actually, I could probably get 2 states over faster than I could get. But anyway, so there's that. I'm also going to StitchCon in June. I'm going to weekend B, so that'll be fun. Went to that last year. So if you're going to either of those retreats, drop a comment down there, say hi. Maybe we can hang out during the retreat. That would be fun. All right, let's see. What else am I gonna talk about? Oh, the 12th part of my Kingdom Hearts Stitch Along came out. So there's just one more part to go at the end of this month. So my next video, I will be able to show off the complete total thing that I finished stitching in December and have been dying to show people. Because I really just worked my butt off to finish that last year. And I've had to wait 3 months. But soon, just one more section to go. And then that one will be done. And you guys can stitch it forever. It's big, I know, it's big. Okay, anything else? I put out another Doctor Who pattern on my Ko-Fi. Of course, all these patterns are free. I'll stick a little, so I'm doing basically the little title cards from each Doctor each month. So this one's for the 3rd Doctor. I've already done the 1st and 2nd Doctors. Now we're in color, so that's exciting. But I think that's about all little announcements and stuff. Oh, other than this is stitching related, I joined, I think the group is called the Free Cross Stitch Challenge group. It's done by Creatively Crafting. So I joined that group this past month. I found out about them from Tina Frazier, watching her videos, and I saw her working on the challenge stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to try that. So I checked that out. I tried another challenge group, and nothing against the group. It's just the way my brain is and everything. There's just too much going on, and it overloaded me. And when I get just too much, I just don't do anything. I shut down. But I feel like this group had the right mix of stuff to keep you going, but not just so much stuff that my brain revolts. So this is the February, so you sign up through email and you get these sheets. So this is the February Stitch Challenge, and I got 30 points for the month, so not too bad. Considering I couldn't actually get either of those points. Well, I guess I could have gotten that pattern if I really wanted to do it, but I didn't have time to do more things. No. And I'm not a stitchy. Well, I wasn't in February, but I joined in March, so I'll get those points this next month. So how it works is you have this one sheet where you put down how many stitches you do. So each X is 100 stitches. So you get 1 point for each 1,000, and then there's a goal each month. So this one is 4,000. So once you get to that, you get an extra 10 points, and then you can keep going. So all total, this can give you 20 points if you can get 10,000 stitches in the month. But even if you can't, you can get points however many you can get done. And then there's a Stitch-O board, which has different little things on it, like stitch on Groundhog Day. It has in the corners like stitch 75 stitches, stitch 175 stitches, stuff like that. Stitch the month's mini pattern. They have these little mini bobbin patterns, which, darn it, I forgot to bring that in here. Oh, actually, I didn't. Excuse me, I'm going to get up for a second. Yes. Ha 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 ha, I win. Excuse me getting very close to the camera. Anyway, but there's like a little mini bobbin. There's like little mini patterns each month, and that's one of the blocks on there. And a lot of fun stuff on there. And I got them all fun. Look at me. Such an overachiever. So I got basically maximum amount of points you can get in these two. So that was pretty fun. And I had fun trying out, like there was one on there, you had to try a road stitch, RHODES, which is interesting. If you can look that up on Google what that looks like. It's pretty neat. Actually, I stitched it on the fabric that I did my little bobbin on, so I can show you that later, actually. Since I actually had the bobbin in the room. Since I totally forgot to put it up here. But okay, so I'm gonna put up graphic of all the things that I worked on this month. So you can see everything that I worked on, how many stitches I did on everything, and then the ones with little red dates next to them are the ones I finished. So lots of good stuff this month. I got some pretty good totals in. I got more work on Buds of May, which was nice. The one that got the most stitches was my partial portrait, because there was a lot on that one. So it was 3,444, and the least was the February bobbin, because it's pretty small. You'll see that later. Okay, now we're gonna move on from that and actually start showing you my whips, or if you're new here, works in progress. So I'm kind of doing these a little differently now, because I'm a little lazy. I'm sorry, I'll admit it. But I'm trying to find ways to streamline this process so it kind of encourages me to do my videos when I kind of have them planned. And sometimes when there's just like a lot to do, I'm just like, I don't want to do all that. So except for a few instances, I'm not really going to be putting pictures up of stuff so much, like what it's supposed to look like, because what I did is I printed out my own little like pattern pages. So now I have a little physical picture I can show you, so I don't have to go in and edit and put in all these pictures, because it's a bit of a production in the program I have. But then I also have a quick and easy way to remember where the patterns come from, what fabric it's on, if there's any like specialty flosses and stuff. So that's all handy and at my fingertips. I have some books for keeping track of what you're working on, but the thing I don't like about it is if you have something that is taking you a while to work on, when you want to look at it, it's way back here behind all the other stuff you started. But with this, I'm putting them in little like plastic sleeves, and then they go in a binder, and this way I can move them around, I can shift them around, I can do all that. I just like that I'm able to customize, but I also like that it's like a physically printed thing. I know a lot of people like to do digital. That's fine. Give me a printer and some printer paper. So you can see what I'm first going to show you is my Winter Snow White from Tilton Crafts, and it's just on an 18 count easy grid. So we're going to start there, and that of course is what it's going to look like when it gets done. And this is where I am so far. And you can see I did more of her face this time. She's starting to be able to like see her hair and her eyelashes and stuff. And lots of white because, well, she's not white. She's white. So I did make some more progress. I did change my goals on a lot of these. I was trying to do 2,500 on each one, but I realized that was a lot in a month. So like all of them except for the donut stitch, I've scaled down to doing 1,000 a month, which still gives me some pretty good progress, but is not like an overwhelming amount of stitches to try to get done in a month. But I'm liking how that one is going, and I can fit in the Q-snap, so I'm doing roughly a quarter of the pattern, but of course I'm trying to not do like solid lines so I don't get lines in it, but that way I can kind of get this quarter done and then do the next one and the next one, and it'll be easier to work with in the Q-snap. Okay, next up is another Snow White pattern. This is from Pain Free Crafts, and the artist by Star Masayume. And this is another one that's on an 18 count easy grid. So that's a real cute one there. And I made some more progress on her hair and a little more on her face. So you can see there's like more purple and stuff in there, sort of getting that more filled in. There's a lot of confetti in these patterns, but you know, that's the way it goes, isn't it? Yeah, you know, I had her bow pretty much in last time, and now I did a lot more colors in her hair, and her face, and her eye there. So it's starting to look like something, I think. Yeah, something. And here's the big one. This is Them Apples. This is also by Pain Free Crafts, but art by Tim Shoemate, and it's on another 18 count easy grid Ada. I just love that one, it's so cute. Oh, but it is large. I got another, I think just like 2 colors done, so there's a lot. So you can kind of see the outline of the bird a little better now. And this over here is actually the start of her hair. So it's kind of starting into her a little bit. But I'll just put that in there. But yeah, making progress. So much confetti. Oh my gosh, look at that. Do you see it? Do you see it? This one is like a lot to work on. I think it's gonna be gorgeous. It's gonna be absolutely fabulous when I get done with it in 10 years. All right, another Snow White. I know you're gonna be like, oh my God. Is she obsessed? It's like, well, yes, but no. Okay, this one is by Donut Stitch, and it's also an 18 count easy grid. So I love it. It's so cute. The little Snow White and the Prince Charming and the little dwarves. And I love the one back here. He's just like, meh. Okay, let's pull this out because I really like this one. I didn't work on it as much this month because I'm kind of just changing, because what I was doing originally is I was having these as my daytime project, and I was doing 500 stitches each day in the morning, but I realized I don't really like switching projects that often, like having one for the daytime, one for the evening. It doesn't work for me. I was trying it out, I didn't like it. So basically I just have a rotation. I've got what I'm working on for the month, and once I get the basically assigned amount of stitches done, I'll put it down, I'll go to the next one. I like that a lot better. But as you can see, I got this pink and purple, and yeah, the blue wasn't in here either, I don't think, mostly. And then I started on this apple that's in the middle, and I really love this one. I love that it's, you know, these blocks of colors. The colors are so pretty. I think it's just gonna look fabulous when it gets done. And yes, that hole here is supposed to be there. Derek commented on that, and I'm like, no, it's an intentional thing, and it's part of the pattern. He's just like, it's artistic license. It's okay. It's fine. But of course, he grumped about it a little bit, but yeah. And hopefully I should, you know, get the apple finished, and I'll start working on the other side. So That'll be nice to work on. Okay, I swear it's the last Snow White pattern. I swear. So I started a new one. I did finish one this month too, though, but we'll get to that. So this one is from Brooks Books, Snow White, and it's on a 20 count Lugana and the color Ivory. So this is gonna have DMC and Krennic and Mill Hill beads, and it's just gonna be, I don't know how well you can tell from the picture, but it's going to be very, very fancy. So probably not going to be able to see it super well this time because I did a lot of beige stitches. A lot of beige and yellow, but it's really pretty, and I like how it's working up so far, and it's gonna be really cute. It's just, yeah, sorry if you can't really see it super well because it's beige stitches on a beige fabric. It's so exciting. There should be more to show next time, I swear. But this one is going to be really pretty when it gets done. Just gotta get there. Okay, Snow White is over. I swear. Well, no, there's one in finish. Snow White for the Whips is over. Sorry. All right, next we're moving on to a completely different thing. It's the Supernatural Sal from the Witchy Stitcher. This is on a 32 count Country Mocha linen. And as you can see, this Sal is done, but I'm not. But I'll get there. So this month I worked on the gin, and the little accents I added was I did some of her gold. Did I do? Yes. I think I just did the gold in some Etoile, like sparkly floss. This thing she's holding, and oh yeah, and her little crown and her like little bikini pieces and stuff, just add a little sparkle to it. So I didn't customize it really that much, just add a little something. So you can see we're getting there. First row across is done, so woot. I'll get another one done this month. So it's coming along. Okay, next we got the Labyrinth stitch alongs from Geek Freak Stitching, and it's on a 16 count Ada by Fabric Flare, so it's a printed fabric. I really love this fabric. So you see, last time I got the lettering done, and now I'm moving on to the frame, which is like a big ball with kind of labyrinth in it and little squares for scenes from the movie. So I'm moving down. I'm trying to do some back stitching as I go, so it doesn't have like because it's got a good bit on the frame, so I don't have like a ton to do at the end. But it's coming along. I'm meeting my goals. I should have the frame done in November, because there's 13 rooms, so I was wanting to do one in December and then one each next year, one each month. So that one is coming along. Ooh. Next is Dark Queen of the Earth by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and it's on 32 count Lugana Nightshade. It's by Under the Sea Fabrics, and this has DMC and Petite Treasure Braid and tons of beads, and it's also fancy. So I did get this month's section done, and that was her torso and then the branches and stuff up here. So you can see it's really coming along. So the new part has come out, but of course I haven't started on that yet, but I should have it done for next time. But yeah, you can see we really hit a stride here, and I'm so glad that they did those bigger sections towards the beginning, because it's hard when you get towards the end and you're kind of like, oh, I'm getting ready for this to be done, and oh my god, I gotta stitch like 10,000 things, thanks. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, so the Pixel Prime style from 2022 is the Up Plaza, and this is also an 18 count easy grid. You can see that's what it'll look like when it's done. I'm just working on the frame because the frame is stinking ginormous and it's gonna take me forever, but I got the rest of the lettering in, and basically I've gotten all the way across the top now. So all the black, I was just gonna stick to doing one color, but I thought it would be fun to add a little bit of different colors, so I filled in the numbers, because for 3 of these, that was like the only amount of that color in the frame that was there. So I figured I'd just go ahead and do that. So I'll cross the top, and the rest of the black should go pretty fast because it's just basically lines. And then I'll start working on another color once I get done with the black, which I think will probably be another 2 months, maybe. We'll see, 2, 3, something like that. But yeah, you can see this thing is, oh, so it's not gonna be a quick one, no. But I'm just gonna keep working on it. Just keep going. Oh, Hello Kitty. So my April Hello Kitty pattern, this is of course a pattern by me, and I'm doing on a 14 count easy grid. I didn't know what I was doing with pattern making back then, but oh well. You live, you learn, right? So still not super exciting. I did a couple more of the raindrops and a bunch of blue, so I made it all the way to the edge. So this is the width that it's gonna be. Yeah, not very exciting right now. I'm gonna try to do the black outline on Hello Kitty this month in March, so that maybe there's something a little more interesting to look at. Plus then if I don't want to concentrate, I'll just be able to like fill in the background because the outline will be done. Oh, something new I started this month. It's the Magic Potion Temperature Salve from Teeny Weeny X Stitch, and it's on a 16 count charcoal Aida. I mean, this is just sort of a general look, but it's gonna look very different because it's I've got colors assigned to each temperature range. So I did January, and I actually did this with Derek. So you can see these ones here that are in the little stands, like here and here. There's like 4 of them. Derek stitched those. So I thought it would be fun. I'm not usually a temperature stitch person, but I decided it would be fun for us in our first year being married to like do this together and commemorate. And so as you can see, we live in Florida. Because January was like, oh, it should look all blue, and no, I swear, I think we hit, see, there's an orange one in here. There's orange. There's orange. February's not gonna look any better. I hate to tell you. And then it's gonna be all like red and pink and stuff in the middle. But it's Florida. I asked if he wanted to try to like tweak a little bit, but the problem is, it's like if you start making like the blues further up, then it's gonna look weird because we get those temperatures through the spring too. And yeah, oh well, it is what it is. You can tell we live in Florida. I think it's really cute. I messed up a little bit because since I was leaving these sections empty, I think it was right here, I put 1 stitch too many in here because I didn't count quite right, and he found that afterwards. So now I've got to do like every subsequent shelf with like an extra stitch in there somewhere because I was not taking all that out. No. You understand, you know, you'd be like, no, it's fine. Okay, we're getting towards the end of the pile. Buds of May. It's by Susan Bates, and it's just on a 14 count Aida. I made better progress on that this month than I did last month, although it'll be kind of hard to tell because I did all the white and this really, really pale blue. So this here, the whole window frame, and then I started filling in some of the green, so at least something of different color. But it's coming along. I was hoping I would have this done to put up in March, ready for spring, but I do not, obviously. I don't even know if I'll have it done by the end of spring. Probably not. But you know what? Whenever I do finish it, I will have it ready for next year. Yeah. Okay, another one I started this month, which I was not planning on doing. I'd already gotten the pattern for the Farming Magic Sounds by Flossie Fox Shop. I'm doing on an 18 count. I don't think Aida is correct. I think it's an even weave, but it kind of throws me off because I've never heard of an 18 count even weave. It seems too big, but I don't know. But those are the first 2 parts. She just released part 3, which I'm gonna hope to get, I should get done this month, but I did get caught up. So here's part 1, and then we got part 2, and I don't know, I hope this shows up on the video, but this fabric is awesomely sparkly. It's so cool. So it's this cream color, but with all these like gold sparkles in it. So good. But yeah, like if I look at it, it doesn't look like Ada. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it looks like an even weave, but it is 18 count. I've counted, and I counted once I stitched too with the stitches, and it's 18 count. So have you ever heard of an 18 count even weave? I don't think I've seen one before. Although sometimes it's like the weave is fairly loose, you can maybe see, which sometimes is a little annoying because my needle will like want to just, I'll try to push it up from the back and it'll be like, and it'll fall out. Plus this stuff is like really stiff, I guess because it has the sparkle in it. But yeah, you can see it's gonna be a pretty good size, even on 18 count. But I'm excited, and they're so cute. I mean, look at that cow. Look at its face. Oh, little chickens. There's a pig with wings. I love it. I love it. That's why I was like, I'm not gonna start any more styles. And then everybody started stitching it, and I was like, I want to do it too. And I did. Oh well, you know how it goes. Okay, whips. We're finally done. Finally done with whips. Let's do some finishes. I got a couple finishes to show off. So this is from Pix Cross, another Snow White pattern. I showed you it in progress last month, and now it is all done. It's just on a 16 count white Aida. And I didn't wash it and iron it. I'm sorry. But yeah, really cute. If you follow me on Instagram, you'd already seen this because I posted that on there. But she's cute. And then I'm sorry, I didn't wash out the grid on this. I pulled it out and realized I hadn't done that. So, but I really wanted to go ahead and get my video finished. I'm sorry. So this is my partial portrait, which is also on a 16 count Aida. And I think he turned out really cute. Once I get the blue lines out of there, he'll look even better. Well, yeah, I'm chugging along on these, getting them done. Okay, so another unexpected one that came up. So I was telling you about the bobbins that the challenge group does. So this was the bobbin for February, really cute. And you can see up here, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but this is a road stitch, which I thought was really neat. And of course there were some other little things on the like stitching hearts together in a cloud stuff that I just sort of put on here because it's just sort of like a scrap of kind of oddly cut 28 count. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just throw that on there. Get it done for my fancy challenge group, you know. Yeah, do you like the new way that I'm showing these off? I'm hoping you can see the pictures okay. I took them out of the shiny plastic so you wouldn't get like the glare on it. So hopefully you can still see them and everything. Am I showing things long enough? I try to, but I know I can also like speed through stuff a little bit. Sorry. All right, let's move on to my goals this month. So my goals for February, I'll put that up here so you can follow along, to start my temperature sal and the Snow White pattern from Brooks Books. So I got those done. Of course, I had my other Snow White ones from Tilt and Crafts and Star Masayume and Dona Stitch and the Them Apples pattern. Doing the next section of the Dark Queen, and then doing the amount that I wanted to get done on the Labyrinth sal, Pixel Prime, Buds of May, April Hello Kitty, and of course another creature on Supernatural sal. And then finish the Snow White pattern from Pix Cross and my partial portrait. So I did pretty good this month. Yay. Okay, what are my goals for March? So I've got a lot of stuff. I can't even hardly fit it on the page. Can you see this? It's ridiculous. Okay, so I wasn't planning on starting anything, but on the challenge group thing this month, there's like Stitch a Leprechaun, Stitch a Coin. So of course I didn't have any patterns with that stuff, and I didn't want to just like stitch some random thing to toss out. I was like, okay, I want something that I want. So I found a really cute pattern by the Frosted Pumpkin. It's called Lucky, so I'm going to stitch some of that, at least the part with the leprechaun in it. So surprise start. That's why it's kind of stuck down there. You can see it's like down there. Then of course I'm gonna work on my usual amount of stuff, the Snow White patterns from Donut Stitch, Tilton Crafts, Star Mask Yume, the Brooks ones I started, Them Apples, Supernatural Sal, the Dark Queen will have the next segment, Farming Magic Sal, the next segment of that, Labyrinth Sal, Temp Sal will be doing, of course, February temperatures, Pixel Prime, April Hello Kitty, Buds of May, and I also want to get some work in on my Sailor Starlight pattern, because I started that in June when I was at StitchCon, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to like bring this back next year and finish it? Well, that means I actually need to make some progress on it because there's still too much left to do while I'm at StitchCon. So I've got to at least get a little bit done each month so that I won't have like a ton of it to do when I'm up there and I can actually finish it. Can I do it? Can I do it all? So far this month I'm doing pretty good. Today is the 4th. Yeah, today's the 4th. So yeah, I've already finished one thing I wanted to finish. I'm like almost halfway on another thing, so I think I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully I can keep to all that, and I can do all my challenge things, and I can do that, and it's fun because it's fun seeing all the people like try to do all the stuff each month, and it doesn't matter if you know, do all of it or you just do some of it or whatever. It's like, it doesn't really matter, but it can be a fun challenge, motivating sort of thing. Okay, I think that's about it for the stitching content. So you probably noticed that I didn't talk about any pop culture stuff. What I wanted to do with that is put it at the end of my video so that maybe I could talk about a little more stuff during the month instead of just sort of having to pick something and rush through it. So basically, if you don't want to see that part, you can just stop the video now, which is cool. It's fine. You know, you may not be interested in the same sort of stuff I am, and you'd be like, I don't care about that. Yeah, it's cool. I understand. But, so, if you're just here for stitching, I hope I will see you again in my next video. But right now we're going to get into talking about some of the stuff that I was watching and reading and whatnot this month. So in February and in January, I was reading a lot of 90s teen novels. So I was reading some books by L.J. Smith, and I was reading some books by Christopher Pike. I read The Forbidden Game and The Secret Circle from L.J. Smith, and I was reading the Last Vampire books from Christopher Pike. I remember those from when I was a teenager. I really liked those, and I don't know, I kind of enjoy them because they're so short. A lot of the teen novels now have to be like they're novels. They're like seriously huge. I'm just like, I kind of appreciate it back in the day when they were like 250 pages and you could just like breeze through that stuff. I don't know. It's different eras of people. It's just different. I did start on another book by Karen Chance. There's the Cassandra Palmer series. It's got vampires and werewolves and witches and psychics and stuff. And I've read a number of those. I gotten kind of behind. I hadn't read the more recent ones, so I was wanting to catch up, and I decided to get a subscription to Audible because part of the reason I haven't been reading as much is like I have to like stop doing everything else and just read, and I'm not necessarily, I'm just doing a lot of stitching. So now I get a credit every month, and I can pick something out, and now I would have to buy these books new anyway, because they don't really sell, they don't have them used anywhere. So that's been kind of like why I haven't gotten a lot of audiobooks. It's like I can get a book so cheap at the used bookstore or wherever, or I have all these books that I need to read, but if I want those ones, I would have to buy them full price anyway. So I figured, well, I'll try those out. And so I'm about a quarter of the way in, I think. I can't, which one am I? I'll put the name of the book down here because I can't remember which one I'm reading right now. They all have these like really like Reap the Wind and Shatter the Earth, and like, they're very dramatic. I wouldn't say that they're paranormal romance books. Like, there are some romance elements, but it's not like the main part of the book. Like, she's always getting into trouble and something horrible's happening, and there's like decapitated heads and stuff. So I don't think that's a typical romance novel thing. Like, you're gonna have romance in all of these books, but it's not like just hot and heavy all the time. Like, it's not shelved in the romance section either. It's shelved usually in like fantasy section. So reading those, I'm debating about what other books I want to get with credits. I'm thinking about some Brandon Sanderson books, because he's got those, I think it's the Stormlight Archive, and those books are hefty. So just even carrying that book around. I mean, granted, the audiobook I think is like 45 hours or something. It outdoes The Stand, and there's like 4 of them. So yeah, ooh. But maybe that would get me to actually read those, because I liked a lot of his other books, like the Mistborn books that I've read. So any thoughts, suggestions? I usually read a lot of sci-fi and fantasy, some horror, mostly just Stephen King, but I have most of his books in hardback. So so we've been working our way through the James Bond movies, because we found a box set at Target with like all of them except for like the most recent one. And I was like, I've never really sat down and watched a James Bond movie. And I'm like, sure. And I mean, of course, it has a lot of what you expect from a movie like that, especially the ones in the 60s and the 70s. Very misogynistic, sometimes racist. Not great. I mean, not as bad as some things, I'm sure, at the time, but there's some moments that aren't great. But you take them as a product of their time, because that's unfortunately the way it was, and I feel like it's a good window back to look at, like, wow, I'm so glad it's not that bad. I mean, there's still work to do, but holy cow. Sometimes, yeah. And that was just seen as that's fine. James Bond coerces this woman into sex. It's cool. It's great. It's awesome. Progress. Let's just keep working on it. But mostly I just find them really funny, because they're often just so ridiculous, just so ridiculous. Some of the stuff, just the parachuting out of like stuff, they do the plane turns into a boat and it turns into this, and I'm just like, oh my god. So they're good. They're good for a laugh. And of course you get the classic Octopussy. I'm just like, the sexual innuendo can be pretty amusing sometimes, because it was just barely innuendo. I'm just thinking, man, and that they talk about us now. It's like, I don't know, there was some stuff back then. James Bond was pretty blatant. Yeah, it's funny. He's always banging some chick on a boat at the end of the movie. Not always, but a lot of times. Once on a spaceship. That was a weird one. But I think we just finished up the Roger Moore ones. So it's, I think Timothy Dalton did a couple before they got into the Pierce Brosnan. So we'll see how those are in the 80s. Yeah, what else we've been... I can't remember. Well, we watched True Lies the other day, which is crazy because you cannot stream that anywhere. Not to rent, not to buy. It's not on any, like, service. It's crazy because it's big names. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's directed by James Cameron. I don't know. There must be some sort of rights issue where they just can't. And I kind of wanted to see it because there's a new show coming out on CBS, and that's basically the only network we get through our streaming stuff. And it's just advertising the ever-loving crap out of it. And I'm like, oh, I kind of want to watch that movie. And it's like nowhere. So I had to go buy the DVD off of eBay because the DVD is out of print and expensive on like a regular site. Anyway, it's a very typical 90s action movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know. But Jamie Lee Curtis is great in that. She's a lot of fun. Television shows we've been watching. We're trying to finish The Walking Dead. I know. I'm a completionist. I can't help it. I'm kind of enjoying the last season. There's some interesting stuff in there, but I'm glad they're wrapping it up because sometimes that show just is like unrelenting misery. Not like just you, like, the characters. It's like, oh, good grief! Can't anything ever like not completely go to crap? No. Spoiler alert. No. Oh, and we recently got a subscription to Apple TV Plus because I realized it'd be just like, because we already do Apple Music and the cloud service, and I realized it'd only be like $2 or $3 more to do the bundle and get Apple TV Plus the Apple Arcade. I don't know what's on that. I haven't even looked at it, but there's a few shows I've been wanting to see on there, and we haven't watched a whole lot on it yet, but we've been watching The Problem with Jon Stewart, and that is pretty interesting. It's sort of like, it's not really like The Daily Show, but it is sort of, but it just covers like one topic, and the episodes are longer, more closer to an hour, and they try to go a little more in depth, and he gets all these, the whole panel on to talk about different subjects. The last episode we watched was on climate change, and that was interesting. So if you have Apple TV Plus, I would say it's an interesting one to check out. I want to try out some of the other shows on there. They got like Amazing Stories, because I remember that from back in the day. So I'm kind of curious the reboot of it. I'm trying to think. Oh, we just finished watching Castle. I'd watched it back when it came out, but Derek had only caught episodes here and there. So we've been watching, and we just finished up the last season. And I always enjoy that show, and Nathan Fillion, because he's just a lot of fun. And we also started watching Gilmore Girls, because of course I've seen it a couple times, and I thought, I mean, yes, it's a show more geared at feminine people, but I thought that, you know, the way the banter is and the characters and stuff would be interesting for Derek to watch, and he's been enjoying it. So it's not just just for them. Yeah, it's not just for this. Branch out, try something new. But yeah, I was meaning to actually write down all the stuff I'm watching this month. Of course, did not do that. I'll try to remember that for next time. Oh, Doctor Who. So this year, 60th anniversary of Doctor Who. Started in 1963. And what I've been doing is each month I've been watching a Doctor. So the first month I watched the first Doctor, and then last month I watched the second Doctor. And I actually got to see a lot more of the second Doctor. I've watched all the older stuff about a year or so, two ago. There's a lot of episodes missing because in the 60s, BBC would often erase the tapes to make room for new stuff. because they thought, oh, who's going to want to watch this stuff again? So there's a lot of episodes missing. Some they found that were exported to other countries for air and things like that. And they've also started animating them because they have the audio. So they'll animate them and put the audio track to it. So I was actually able to, I've been collecting the DVDs and stuff of a lot of the animated episodes because they have the old series on BritBox over here in the States. But a lot of the animated stuff has been done through different companies and everything, so they don't have it on there. So in building up, knowing I was going to do this, I've been collecting the DVDs. So I've seen a lot. I was able to watch a lot more than I did on the last time I watched it, which was nice because I didn't really care for the second Doctor as much when I watched it before. But I think part of that is I was just getting annoyed because there was huge chunks of the story just missing. Like the first season he's in, I think there was one story available and the whole rest of the season was just gone, and that was kind of annoying because you can't really follow what's going on with the characters, and some characters leave and new ones come in, and so I was able to follow a lot more of the story, which is nice. But anyway, I think I've rambled on enough about the media I've been watching. If you have any interesting shows you've been watching, drop that down there. I probably won't have as big of a section next time because I'm just going to try to cover, like, if we started a show or ended a show or something like that, not talking about everything I've watched. I did go see Ant-Man and the Wasp. I won't say too much about that because I know there's probably still some people out there who haven't seen it yet. But it was fun. I did enjoy it. I don't know, I'm a big Marvel fan. But I don't know, I haven't been as enthused with stuff since Endgame, I guess, really. Except for the Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't know, it just feels like everything hasn't come together yet, and maybe it will be better once things start to really coalesce. I guess it's just hard comparing all the phases and all the big build up to Infinity War and Endgame and compare it to them sort of having to like start over and there's new characters and putting all that. I don't know. I'll keep watching it either way. Oh, well, no, that's a March thing. Oh, we have been watching The Last of Us, which it's a zombie show. I mean, technically they're not zombies, but it's in that vein. But really not a lot. I mean, there are some scenes, but it's a lot of human drama, which I kind of like, and some people have been mad about that. I'm just like, okay. Whatever. Anyway, I'll let you go because I rambled on for quite a bit, and I don't want this video to take a million years to upload. If there's anything else you wanted to comment on or ask me about, just drop a comment down below. And if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe, and everybody hit the like button. I usually don't say that, but I feel like maybe if I say that, no, I don't know. Oh, I did have a little uptick in subscribers, and I'm not really sure why I had a little uptick this month. So if you're a new person that came over and you're still watching this, maybe drop a comment and tell me how you found out about my videos. And I hope I'll see you again next month. Bye.